Peace, peace, peace. So I got some audio in the chat. It's your boy, Brian's Yogi, back again with Brian's Yogi Reports. As we continue to go on this spiritual journey in the book of the Owaski, can I get a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? Can I get a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? All right. It's been a little hot, sick. You guy, man, was sick over the weekend. You can probably hear it in my voice. So please forgive me. You know how it be. You know what I'm talking about. But good to see y'all. Creator Gang filling in. Come on in. As we continue to go down this spiritual road, the spiritual path down the Owaski. Vast book, deep knowledge. You know, we're going to dig into chapter 5 tonight from the book of knowledge. You know, hope all is well with everybody tonight. You know, prayers for those. Oh, hold on, just. Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah. Hope all is well with everybody tonight. You know, prayers for those that may be going through some things. In the CGG, family members, you know, got a brother going through, mother's been diagnosed with cancer. So I ain't gonna say no names for privacy concerns, but we're definitely gonna keep his mother in prayer. You know what I'm saying? Creator give you healing and comfort in the situation. But as we proceed, we will be going into chapter 5 of the Owaski. Let me go and pull it up here. Let's see where we at. There we go. All right. Chapter 5. Tell you, book of knowledge ain't no joke. All of it ain't no joke, really, but man, you know, sometimes you got your favorite books and certain books. You know what I'm saying? And this is probably one of the many that really gets me going too. Now, Tay, as we for those that haven't viewed him before, Tay is a collective of mankind, the essence of mankind. And just think of it as humanity, just all humanity's consciousness having a conversation with the Creator or humanity's consciousness having a conversation with one of the higher gods. Verse 1. Tay then made a tablet of the nations of the earth. Oh, let me turn this phone off real quick. Wait, I don't understand. Turn it down a little bit. Tay then made a tablet of the nations of the earth and of its people in rank and in caste. And when it was completed, Jah spoke to him through his sons and daughters. Jah said, separate all the people into 4 groups. And you shall determine the kingdoms of Atmospheria. And you shall divide them according to my judgment upon them. Remember, O man, that in all my kingdoms like attracts like. According to their talents, so I do prosper them. You know, you got to take in consideration the gifts and the things that the Creator has given you. He's going to prosper you in those things when you continue to progress in them. You know, practice makes perfect. To him who desires of the earth, I give of the earth. To him who desires of heaven, I give heavenly treasures. Tay said, I perceive why the king's desires to be king, while the idler desires to be idle. Lazy cats. Or just, cats that don't have no motion. While the general desires to rule, the captain and leader of men to lead, and while the rich man glories in riches. If they prosper in these things, it is not because the corporal transcended the spirit. And is asking a question at the same time. It's like a rhetorical question. And Tay brought all these together, summed them up into one category, and he called this the first division, saying, he who is furthest from Jah prospers best in his talent in the corporal world, for his desires show the direction of his soul, which is towards the things of the earth. So when you see, all the billionaires, millionaires to a degree, I'm not going to slap everybody in the same category, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has different intentions. But for the most part, y'all been around long enough to know where people's heart is at and what they give back, to the helping of people. Some people do it just to show face. You know what I'm saying? Some folks do it to be seen, giving out turkeys, at Thanksgiving, and they got to make a video on it, you know what I'm saying, just to show they done did something. It's just like the celebrity way. Take then called together, summed up all the laborers of the earth who were diligent but did not prosper. And he found their spiritual judgment transcended their corporal judgment. He called these the second division. I would say these is your average people. They do the 9 to 5, slaving, doing their thing, trying to make ends meet. And outwardly, it doesn't seem like it's even economically, is just, things just ain't coming together. It's like rubbing 2 Chinese nickels together. You know what I'm talking about? But in most cases, you all know, a lot of times, some of the people that don't have the things that they would typically need in life, those be the spiritual folk. Now, this ain't no be to be spiritual doctrine or nothing like that, but you know, we tend to tap into things when something's not around or something not available. You feel me? Tay then collected together all the infants in the world, and they were without judgment. And this he called the third division. Tay then called together all the people who lived off the earnings and industry of others. And these were thieves, robbers, politicians, lawyers, judges, and preachers who live in fine houses. Tell me that ain't no barn house burning. Nah, them preachers don't like that one, huh? And you know the politicians don't like that, because even folks that ain't even in spiritual situations or on no spiritual tip of reading books, you know, the average person is on their head. Yeah, but people like preachers, imams, and them, yeah. This he called the fourth division. And when Tay looked abroad over the earth, lo and behold, there was one man left, and he was the only one of his kind on the earth. Yeah, Cosmo. Judges, politicians, robbers are the same. Yes, sir. Sir Frank Leroy is in the building. Yes, sir. And when Tay looked abroad over the earth, lo and behold, there was one man left, and he was the only one of his kind on earth. Tay said, and this is what's dope about a wide speak, the conversation that goes on between the creator or one of the high raised gods and goddesses. You know, the conversation, the dialogue between the two. This lets you know this is the deep book. Ain't too many books around that even go in this direction. Tay said, "Who are you?" And the man answered, "I do not know. Neither do I know where I came from, nor where I shall go." Peace to the God, spiritual rock shock in the building. Tay said, "What is your labor?" The man answered, "I do whatever I can, turn my hand to, and I give all I have, and my time to whoever needs me." Don't that sound like an honest person? Something to strive to be like, if you ain't there already. You know, some folks might be. Some folks might just be there, just ain't made it yet. But either way, you know what I'm saying? That's the goal. Tay said, "Shall I give you gold?" The man said, "No, I need nothing." Tay said, "Shall I make you a leader of men?" The man answered, "No. To be a leader on earth is to be bound in heaven." That's the clincher right there. To be a leader on earth is to be bound in heaven. And we're not just saying not we're not just saying, you know, an individual that gives direction to certain things, because everybody kind of needs um an elder, so to speak. You know, parents are elders, you know what I'm saying, to their children. You know, you raise them, you know, tell them which way to go. But we talking about leaders, leaders. Me. I got to get to shine. And some folks take that mentality when they transition on over into the spirit world, not knowing that they was responsible for the same people that they led when they was living. Some people know that, but they've been in certain ministries, certain positions for so long, they don't even care now. It's become they become numb to the thought. The man answered, Tay said, then you shall have renowned fame, for you are the highest of men. But the man answered, no, I will not have renown, for when I am dead and gone to heaven, I will be called back continually by the prayers of men. Imagine how many celebrities that have been dead and gone in our lifetime. In our lifetime, if you, those of you that's listening to me now tonight, any of y'all that's been around the past 20 to 40 years, 50, 60 years, known people of high esteem that are dead and gone, they still on them like they still alive. You know, Elvis and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Let them folks go. Let them go. I mean, it's one thing to be like, yeah, they was on their thing when they was around, but cats making statues of them and praying every night. You know what I'm talking about? Some of these spirits are stuck because of that, from the perspective of the Awaspi. No, I have not have renown, for when I am dead and gone to heaven, I will be called back continually by the prayers of men. Naked I came into the world. Permit me to depart when my time comes, as Jaja directs. Now, when Tay found the man desired nothing of the earth for earth's sake, he cried out to the Father, saying, I have made 4 divisions of the people of the earth, but there is one man who fits none of the divisions. Where then shall I place him? Jaja said, leave him alone, and when his death is at hand, when it happens, my Ethereal angel shall carry his soul to the second heaven, for he is my son. Then Jehovah questioned Tay as saying, how do you judge the children of men? Tay said, the leaders, that is kings, queens, emperors, popes, and rich men, I have made into one division. Producers into another division, idlers and babes another, and thieves, liars, robbers, politicians, judges, lawyers, and priests who live in fine houses another division. Then Jaja spoke through his sons and daughters, saying, you have done well. For what is one more than another when stripped of his flesh body, except in the righteousness of his soul? Let me go and read that one again. Then Jaja spoke through his sons and daughters, saying, you have done well. For what is one man or woman than another when stripped of his flesh body, except in the righteousness of his soul? And is the labor of man not the true basis to weigh the worth of his spirit? And is the labor of a man not the true basis to weigh the worth of his spirit? What more is the king or the rich man in my sight than the most menial servant? Then Tay counted the numbers of people whom he had collected in the 4 divisions, and they corresponded to the statistics of mortals. Jaja said, my kingdoms of atmosphere. There's levels of atmosphere. You have atmosphere around you. You got atmosphere in the air. Different densities. Are in these divisions in rank and caste. We got caste pretty much everywhere in the world. Man's caste, of course. You got caste here in the United States. You got the rich, the middle class, and the poor. And they trying to wipe the middle class out now. You got the caste in Islam. You got a caste in India, called Vasanas. You got and you can tell it ain't divine because of the conditions that the people are in. According to that which they have developed on the earth, so I assign them in heaven. Let every man judge for himself and assign himself wherever he will. My kingdoms are open to all. They open all. Just Israelites. Just Christians. Just Muslims. My kingdoms are open to all. And in that way, they discovered the rank and grade of the lower heaven, and the numbers of people dwelling in each and every division. It's a little big here. Let me go scale it down a little bit. This is the chart. Hold on right quick. All right, we back in the game. All right, this is the chart here. All right, here we go. Tablet of grade and end grade. This browser actually split screen, but for some reason, StreamYard it won't let it show it. But we all good. We're gonna keep it pushing. That which is now for mortals. And it's the dope thing, man. The dope thing. That which is now. This is the bottom part of this chart here. at the moment. Abortions and premature births are included in rate 21, as are infants. Why? Because they didn't know anything. Or they, for the infants that are still living at that time, when they're born, they don't know anything yet. All below 50 years of age are considered minors as to spirit. Familiar spirits mostly come from rate 21 and from rate 7 who were slain in war. Doesn't automatically mean in the Civil War or, the Iraqi war, but war, period. If you getting shot down in the street, over whatever, you know what I'm saying? Block beef you got going on with somebody, and thrown into chaos. That is spirits who do not know who they are nor where they are. And being in darkness, ignorance, they anchor themselves on mortals, spirit obsessions. We was talking about that early. Spirit obsession. Let's see. Let's give you a little example right quick on the part on who's slain in war and thrown into chaos. Boom. The clip of Ghost. Homeboy tried to rob Patrick Swayze. Y'all should be able to hear this. Puerto Rican dude shot him. Took off. Patrick Swayze ran after him. Took off after him. Nazarene seen faith in the building. Ah, man, my bad. Man, my bad. Right on, Cal P. Sir Frank Leroy gonna keep me on point. Let me go ahead and switch this on right quick. Yeah, here we go. Y'all should be able to hear this right here. The Puerto Rican dude, trying to rob Patrick for whatever he, his intent was.
You don't lose him. Son of a bitch! No! Somebody help us! He's fighting now! Just get off! Somebody! Somebody help us! Sam, just stop it!
Puerto Rican dude run off. Patrick Swayze haul ass right after him. He don't even know he did. A lot of times, from testimonies, that's how it always is.
Molly?
Especially when something happened fast.
Molly, you got it.
Just like this. I'm gonna turn that off because I ain't trying to get no copyright. But you feel me though. Crazy. Oh yeah, I feel you on that, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. If that was my wife, man, she better be on that cat top. You know what I'm saying? My wife packed though, so she gonna bust them things if it had. But God forbid it ever had to come. Creator forbid it ever had to come to that. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, unfortunately, these situations happen. You know what I'm saying? Let your guard down. And things like this been happening, especially as of late, going down, and don't even know you're dead. Now check this out. I'm gonna show you something else right here. Now this happened some years ago in Israel. Now this ain't no movie. This ain't no movie. This is real. This is real life footage. Oh, hold on right quick. Hold on right quick. Nah, I'm back, y'all. My bad. This is in Israel, right? Some years ago. It was some kind of gang beef or something like that. Don't know what's going on. This is real though. You know what I'm saying? But the circle right here, you know what I'm saying, is going to identify this cat that runs down this guy over here. And you're going to see this dude's soul leave his body, and it's like that soul hauled ass. Dude jump back in the soul about to haul ass real quick. See that soul right there? Hear it again. Boom. That wasn't no bug. Because the skeptics gonna be trying to say that was nah. That wasn't no bug. Just that quick. Crazy. And these are things that those of us that have awareness to these kind of things, these are just things, you got to keep your eye on. It's interesting too, because for one, we want to be safe ourselves. We want our family members to be safe, friends and even people we don't even know to be safe out here. But I mean, there's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, man, it's wild out here. Let me get back. Where we at? I think we right here. Familiar spirits mostly come from rate 21. That's them old spirits. The spirits that been here for a hot sec. That know a little thing. That know a little thing. Spirits who do not know who they are, knowing where they are, and being in darkness, ignorance. They anchor themselves unto mortals. And this is where you get a lot of the folks thinking they were reincarnated. Cosmon brought that up earlier in his live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Cosmon Cal TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe. Cosmon Cal TV. On reincarnation. And if any of y'all done read several spiritual books, I would say the perspective of the Owaspy, and I ain't trying to just big it up just because, but the perspective of the Owaspy on reincarnation is kind of one of a kind. And I'm not saying there ain't no other books. If there is, it's few and far between. At 70 years of age, some have outgrown all earthly possessions. I mean, typically you would. You know what I'm saying? You old. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you at that age you don't desire no more. Passions and abnegate self. Such a person stands in the proportion of 1 to 44 in the average spirit births in this period of the world, beginning of Cosmon. When was the beginning of Cosmon? 1849. 70 years of age, that which is now 1 to 44. In the arc of bond, the proportion was 1 to 58. That's the previous arc cycle. And in the ages long past, it was 1 to 1,000. So it lets you know, with all the information that's out now, there's a greater chance of certain information or certain awareness that an individual has. And yet, old Jaja, how many of your sons and daughters attain the full age of 70 years, but in spirit have not risen above a newborn child? Look around. How many people you know living to 70 and just like spiritually blazing right now? Who you know 70 right now is just super guru yogi right now? You know what I'm talking about? You might know maybe 1 or 2 folk out there. It's not many. Engrades, that which is coming. That which is coming. Transition point. Right here. That's when you cross over. Isolation. Sphere of the first resurrection. These are the Essene order of spirits. Essene, when you first cross over. in heaven. This sphere includes those of inorganic heavens belonging to no society or organization, being strolling players, wandering about, doing mainly for self and as individual spirits, manifesting to mortals. You know what I'm saying? These the cats is still can't believe they did, and I would say can't believe they did, you know, trying to holler at so and so, like, yo, kind of like how we just seen, like Patrick Swayze the wife was the first person he tried to go back to, and like, yo, it's me, and, you know, she couldn't hear him. Manifesting the mortals. Why? Because they wasn't nowhere. They didn't have this kind of knowledge in them. Not just because this, you know, there's ancient texts that speak about certain things that are still pertaining or still relevant in the Owaspy. You know what I'm saying? But some people die and they just don't know nothing. Fraternity. Nah, this ain't your Greek fraternities. Brotherhood, sisterhood, churches. The second sphere is the beginning of the second resurrection. Spirits of this order, second S grade, S being spirit grade, begin to have association in heaven, but limited. Christian, Buddhist, Mohammedan, and Brahmin spirits belong to this grade. Mortals under the ban of the second grade of bondage usually accept and announce themselves as followers of some savior or person. Humdinger, right here. Faithist fraternities can also be in this sphere, which kind of pokes the air out of your balloon to a degree. You acquire certain knowledge. Don't be arrogant with it. Don't be going knocking the stuffing out of folks' heads because you done learned something. You know what I'm saying? This is information that shouldn't be taken for granted. Because the creator didn't have to let you go down this road. The rate of power of such spirits over the first resurrection is as 3-1. Boom, second resurrection. Communities. The third sphere is the beginning of third resurrection in heaven. Spirits at this rate has risen above being followers. In fact, this is the beginning of the emancipation of the human soul. Spirits of this sphere only come to organic associations of mortals who practice doing good to one another with all their wisdom and strength. That sounds like when Tay was talking earlier to when he was talking about that one man. Those are those kind of qualities. Who practice doing good to one another with all their wisdom and strength. They cast aside all gods and saviors, bowing to no one but the Creator. Jaja. They are faithists in the heaven. Their power is 7-1. Bam. Right there. Nations. This S grade, spirit grade, deals with nations operating through the grades below them. Their power is 13-1. All mortals, the fifth, are combined powers in heaven who control the inhabitants of the whole earth. Through the rates below them, atmospherian rule. Their power is 21-1 over mortals. and also over spirits of the first resurrection. It shows you there's spirits that got more power than other spirits. That's why for certain um certain real paranormal dudes that be messing and tampering with certain things, you got some spirits that's like a slap on the wrist, and you got some spirits that'll knock your block off. Play with them if you want to, but at the same time, don't be scared though. These things are here to help you in your journey with these things. Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish with anything. Etherian spirits who pass beyond all earthly attractions, powers, and conditions. Ancient tablets. This one here is kind of short, but it's funny. This part funny to me is that in older times, this tablet grades and engraves was called abracadabra, and it was written in a triangular form, but it was not correct as it omitted infants. But what was funny about it, when folks first tried to come up against the Oahspe, they was like, hey, the book says abracadabra. Abracadabra. Reminded me of Dave Chappelle on Half Baked. Abracadabra. But it just lets you know they was just trying to find something, but they couldn't find nothing. Examples of using Cosmon's tablet of grade and an engrade. To calculate the bondage in heaven of any organization, grade equals rate equals descent plus 3. I'm going to give you an example. To calculate Christ's dominion, 3 descending rows equals 7 plus 13 plus 21 equals 41. So whatever particular of the 4 beasts, I'll talk to her in a minute. Whether it be Christ, Buddha, Muhammadan, you know what I'm saying, or Brahmin, you know what I'm saying, they had their calculations depending on how many followers they had in the time, or even now. The same rule holds for all religions. That's why we keep hitting it. Boom, this ain't no religion. It is giving you what it is. As like Cosmon said earlier, man, we ain't trying to convert nobody. We just sharing this information. That's all. We just sharing the information to give you more awareness of the things that's going on. And you can't say it ain't going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you say it ain't going on, you living up under a rock. Jaja called his sons and daughters, and Tay stood upright before him. What is your wisdom, O man? Tay then answered, I have learned by corporal things, which are seen and heard. I have learned also of spiritual things, which are unseen and unheard. Jaja said, what your eyes see or what your ears hear is my person. The others are of my spirit. When was the birth of this? Your Cosmon knowledge. Marinate on that. What your eyes see or what your ears hear is my person. The others are of my spirit. When was the birth of this? Your Cosmon knowledge. And that's a personal thing. When did your Cosmon knowledge come to you? When did your awareness, your personal awareness, you, all of y'all that's listening now, when did you become aware that things weren't always what they seemed. Tay said, when the inhabitants who were descendants of your people had circumscribed the earth and settled it around, then your holy angels came and knocked on the walls of Rochester. Rochester what? Rochester, New York. They proclaim you and no other God or Lord. Jaja said before this, the beginning of Cosmon, prior to 1849, November that is, I had searched over all the earth and selected and provided a place for my kingdom. By my angels, I inspired the founders of this country, United States of America. Now, to a lot of folks that be like, oh, the ancestors, I'm with you. I'm with you with all that. To banish the dominion of church and state. But with the things that you know now from this particular book, or even the other books that you might have read prior to Owaspy, and then added this on to it, it makes a lot more sense why certain things went down the way they did. And to provide for the spirit of man to proclaim me and my person. They became a mighty nation, and the spirit of manhood was in them, for as I taught them to deny the divine right of kings. Now, from a European perspective, prior to those of us now in the States, we didn't really know nothing about kings. That wasn't our generation. But we can read about kings, you know what I'm saying, that was before us. And for Saul, they would also deny the same of Christ and cast him out. Tay perceived that these things were so, and the time had come when all people will bow to none except Jaja and the Great Spirit. Jaja said, hear me, O Tay, for I speak through all the members of my family. What family are they talking about? S, Cosmon, Corpor, etc. It's talking about the 9 entities. You can find that also in the book. And I will declare myself to all my nations and peoples under the sun. Nor shall there be any more gods, lords, or saviors on my footstool. You can see that since you've been here. A lot of the things that was going down back in the day it ain't going in that direction no more. Not just here in the States, but just anywhere. But this particular passage happens to be talking about the States. In the time of Cosmon, up until the 33rd year, which would roughly bring us up to 1882, these things have come to pass. Thousands and thousands of men, women, and children have quickened by Jaja to signs and miracles, even as in the time of the ancients. And many of them have attained to Suez, seeing without corporal eyes and hearing without corporal hearing, knowing things far and near by a sense not belonging to the corporal organs. Which lets us know this ain't nothing new. This is something that just got brought back. The ancients were doing that, but it was killed off. It was shunned. It was considered a heresy. But it's funny when you know church history here in the United States and how everything led up down through the different down through the years. All the little denominations started popping up. Your John Calvins and your John Smythe, William Miller, even on down to the spiritualist movement, on down to the Pentecostal movement. And it's funny how the Pentecostal movement got kicked off right after the end of the spiritualist movement from the 1800s. It falls right in order. Folk can't be in denial of that. You can't be in denial of that. Matter of fact, let me see if I got some what's name up here. Let's see. Hold on right quick. I know I got some I got my what's name up here. I don't know if I got it up in there or not, but yeah, Azusa Street and all that. That might be on my other computer, but yeah, early 1900s, like 1901 through 1906, the Azusa Street revival was like on the tail end of the spiritualist movement. And these people, being distinguished from others, are comprehended under the name Tay, being the first fruits of heaven on earth in this day. And many of them have a foresense. A what? A foresense about them, of such kind that the spirits of the dead can come to them and openly commune. But the thing about this was, when people have or had these senses, they was always shunned because it wasn't agreeing with the church. You know, especially back then. You let somebody come to you, well, you know, I heard a spirit tell me so and so and so and so. And you try to tell that to the religious folk, they wasn't hearing it. But it was the real deal. Now I understand we got some weirdos out there. We ain't talking about them. We talking about, you know, real mediums and folks that can commune with spirits, proving themselves to all who are willing to receive truth. That's the head buster right there, even now. All who are willing to receive truth, to be the spirits of friends and relatives deceased on earth. Folks be talking about they spiritual, man, but they scared of this shit. I mean, I understand. I was there once upon a time. That's why ain't no judgment in this. Create a gang. We ain't judging nobody unless you come with that smoke. I mean, we still ain't judging you come with that smoke, but you know, we with it. And the knowledge that comes from the spirits of the dead proves itself in many ways to transcend the knowledge of mortals. I'm gonna do my foghorn leghorn on that one. I said, and the knowledge that comes from the spirits of the dead proves itself in many ways to transcend the knowledge of mortals, because it comes from the unseen, which is one of the kingdoms of Jaja. Which is one of the kingdoms of Jaja. It is classed and distinguished from mortal knowledge by the word S. S being spirit, which is one of the kingdoms of Jaja. It is classified and distinguished from mortal knowledge by the word spirit. So a lot of these folks out here talking about this, that, and the other, they ain't really talking about nothing. Watch me show you how to. You might not necessarily have to open your mouth, but how to read people that's coming, that's the yamming they yams, chopping the pops, chop popping. So that therefore, even spirit speaks. It signifies the highest and the combined knowledge that has come to mortals in the time of Cosmon, from the wisest of the spirits who have communicated as previously said. And since all wisdom comes from Jaja, whether uttered by a mortal or a spirit, so it said he speaks through them. My. I wouldn't say JBN was the greatest artist, but you still get the point of what he was trying to show folk. You know what I'm saying? Back then. It wasn't nothing really pretty back in the 1800s like that. Anyway, to be honest. Yeah, man. Showing the Earth in the 32nd year of Cosmon era. Jaja said, when the world approaches the Denha and Sabia, the nations shall be quickened with new light. For Cosmon comes out of the midst. You know, and like I was saying earlier, the light that you had at the particular time when you was alive, that's the light that you had. I mean, it ain't really nothing to be ashamed about. You know what I'm saying? If that's the light that you had in the 17, the 16, the 1500s, that was the light that you had for that time. But the light that was to come in the Cosmon era, folks was just fortunate that are alive now was fortunate if they took it seriously, fortunate enough to get this kind of awareness. And in plain English or plain understanding. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to get some translation from 15,000 years ago to understand the things of the day. That's why we don't get hung up on, oh, it didn't say it in the Hebrew and it didn't say it in the Greek. It's time to move past all that, man. Think we're gonna get hung up on that? Stump spiritual growth off of language. I'm not saying don't study it. That's the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? The hunt. But don't let it stunt your growth spiritually. And men, let me see. And my Ethereum host shall press upon the understanding of men, male and female, and they shall fill all nations and kingdoms with new discoveries, inventions, and books and learning. Man, if you've been alive the last 30, 40 years, you've seen the progression of humanity as far as inventions and discoveries, especially within the last 10, 15 years with discoveries, stuff that's been there for thousands of years, just coming up now. And men shall be conceited concerning themselves above all ages past. And they shall deny me and quarrel with my name and cast me out. But I will come upon them as a father in love and mercy. Man, ain't no man, no, just no regular man wrote that, dog. You can say what you want. And my host of heaven shall cause babes and fools to confound the wise by signs and miracles. My host from heaven shall cause chairs to speak and inanimate things to walk and dance. You see that kitchen chair slide across the floor, and you jump in your mama's arms or some shit because you you know what I'm talking about. Don't get scared now. The dead shall reappear to the living, talking with them face to face, eating and drinking, proving themselves to the children of earth, and so my kingdom's known. Yes, they shall encompass the whole earth with signs and wonders, and reduce to nothing the philosophy of men and idolatries of the ancients. Woo! Mm. For both the living and dead shall know that I, Jaja, live and reign over heaven and earth. This shall be a new era, and it shall be called Cosmine, because it embraces the present and all the past. It shall embrace. And that's, man, even the definition of Cosmine is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm talking about? Let me pull this up right quick, man. It's right here, man. I was looking at this, man. I was like, Lord. Where is that? Cosmine, the present era. All knowledge in possession of man, embracing corporal and spiritual knowledge sufficiently proven. That's the humdinger right there. For both the living and dead shall know. I read that part already. Then I will reveal myself, and those who deny me shall accept me. Of their own accord, they will put away their lords, gods, and saviors. Nor shall they have idols of me anymore, either on earth or in heaven, for I am sufficient for all. That's fair. Why would you want anything else? Why would you want to lock yourself back up in bondage? Lock yourself up in bondage for like corporal things. Can't shave your head, can't shave your beard. You gotta do this, that, and the other. You know, this is freedom in this. There's laws, but there's freedom in it. Now, when Tay had put himself away, striving to come by his behavior to Jaja, a new light dawned upon him. For as it was given to him to see the spirits of the recently dead, so by purification, he attained to intercourse with associative bodies, angels, in the unseen worlds. And these associative bodies, being exalted angels, in wisdom and purity, speak of the first elements and not of the instruments used, because it is their mode of language. When you think about it, to the average mortal, what's the mode or the element of the instruments used for communication? It's your mouth or hands, or you trying to express something with something physical. This ain't talking about that. speak of the first elements, not of the instruments used, because it is their mode of language. That is to say, for example, Jaja spoke through spirit, saying, but mortals and spirits of the first heaven would say the same thing. Thus, according to the accumulated testimony from the most advanced spirits of the spirit world. In the spirit world, they don't talk with lips. You don't have to talk with lips here if you on a particular level. Now, I'm not saying that in a way to where on no exaltation, but those that know. You know what I'm saying? See, the thing with humans, man, we kind of take things for granted. No, this is the real deal. The spirit stuff is real. Let man be wise and perceive that the Father's hands behind all and withal, for as humanity rises out of individualities, becoming comprehensive in expression, so does his spirit rise also. They perceive these things. The collective of humanity perceived these things, and the Father came to him through spirit and unfolded the scroll of heaven. It said transversely, as seen by man, the worlds are first the earth, then atmospheria, and then the etheria beyond. Jah commanded man to be brought forth on the earth and dwell on it for a season, then to die and rise in spirit and dwell for a season in atmospheria, traveling with the earth daily and yearly, even in its journey with the sun. This lets you know there's still spirits probably sitting next to you right now. Spirits outside your door. Spirits across the street. Looking at you. He who would know, therefore, the rank a man will inherit in heaven shall estimate the comparative strength of spirit and the purity of behavior. Foghorn Leghorn. I said, he who would know, therefore, the rank a man will inherit in heaven shall estimate the comparative strength of spirit. Yeah, Dread. Yeah, spooky. Don't get spooky on me. But this is real talk. If you don't know now, you're going to find out. Eventually. He who would know, therefore, the rank a man will inherit in heaven shall estimate the comparative strength of spirit and the purity of behavior. If a man lives isolated on earth, laboring for self, he will be isolated in heaven and compassionless. That's why even yogis, ancient yogis, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, some of them jokers, they had to come down off them Himalayas and talk to people and mingle. You know what I'm saying? If not, it's just for self. There's a time where you might have to duck off to get yourself together and then come back. You know what I'm saying? To enlighten somebody else so the message can be passed down. But to duck off forever, that's for self. It was said in the past, judge not, lest you be judged. Man, you already know that's that's a Christian's favorite quote. But I say to you, judge all men spiritually and corporally, but hold your tongue. You ain't got to say nothing all the time. We didn't know that back then. You know, our first reaction was, let me go and hit this nigga with these scriptures right quick. We're gonna tighten them up. Now we know better. Keep your comments to yourself on some occasions. Looking to yourself to know how the Father judges you by talents and works. But above all things, observe the unseen causes that play upon you. Yeah, just like I said a second ago. There's spirits next to you in the other room, across the street, and you getting some of this knowledge because you've been consistent in your studies, and you know yourself that you've been going at this spiritual thing for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You think them spirits ain't picking up on that? Especially if you've been in the game the last 10, 15, 20 years. You think them spirits ain't picking up on that? You might not notice it, but them spirits do. Let me read that one again. But above all things, observe the spirit above all things, observe the unseen causes that play upon you, quickening your memory and your perception. For in this lies a great secret of acquiring spiritual knowledge. What? But above all things, observe the unseen causes that play upon you, quickening your memory and perception. For in this lies a great secret. A great secret of acquiring spiritual knowledge. Y'all gonna be thinking about that when y'all go to sleep tonight. You are a type of the world, a corporean. You have a daily life, a yearly life, a cyclic life, the latter of which is first, infancy. Second, puberty, adolescence. Third, maximus, maturity. Fourth, old age. Fifth is death. A corporal world has these, and she imparts her periods to her people. Your flesh belongs to the earth. Perceive then, O man, to attune yourself to Jaja is to become a prophet. And if y'all are familiar with attune, it's all good. You know, it's like if Prince know what I'm talking about. When you tuning an instrument, tuning that guitar, making sure each string hit on a certain key. You know what I'm saying? But I wanna just read the definition for you. Tune. I'm just talking about. I hate looking things up in Microsoft Edge, but it is what it is. Bring into harmony. Because a lot of folks always associate attunement with like new age terminologies, but tune goes back a long way. But I like it the way when it's for example, when it's brought into the use of an instrument to make aware of. You know what I'm saying? But the key point is etymologically, a tune comes from the root word tune. You tune it. And that didn't show anything I just showed, but you get what I'm saying. Let's see where we at. Well, I done lost my spot right quick. All right, here we go. Perceive then, O man, to attune yourself like an instrument, in other words, to the Creator. Is to become a prophet. To understand the kingdoms of the lower heaven is to know the appointments of familiar spirits and guardian spirits over mortals. To understand the kingdoms of the lower heaven is to know the appointments of familiar spirits and guardian spirits over mortals. And knowing these things, you shall perceive the first place allotted to them at the time of their death, which is letting you know when you tune yourself to the Creator, this will open up certain avenues for you, not of your personal gain, but for you to use for Jaja's kingdom. And I don't want to sound cliche with that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's another place in the Watchme where it says if you use these gifts for personal gain, later on it ain't nothing gonna come of it, in so many words. And knowing these things, you shall perceive the first place allotted to them at the time of their death. Just to help somebody when it's their time to transition, to help them on their way, that's a hell of a task. But when you feel good, helping a fellow brother or sister transition in the best way possible, because it was put on you with this particular gift, and this is something everybody can attain if applied correctly. But to understand the realms and the theory, you shall discern the times of associative redemption of atmospherians also. And if you're familiar with even other spirit or sacred books, I should say, these are things a lot of them talk about. It's just another language. This is English. But it's definitely gonna take a sacrifice, though. We ain't talking about being put on no cross or no shit like that. But you know what you got to do. For as there are spirits who are captains over a star, or the earth, or the sun, so are their generals over the Ethereal worlds. And yet beyond them, great commanders over the vortices in the wide universe. When you look at pictures like the James Webb Telescope, it's like mind blowing. Let's see if I can pull something up right quick. When you look at certain pictures like these, oh no, not that one. Look at that. It might not be showing up as big on mine. I'm at to work on that. But look at that. And there's so much out there. Look at that. Hold up, I don't even know why it's showing like that. Hold on. I'm trying to make this mug big. Look at that. And this is just with our eye, our corporal eye. And folk gonna sit there, scientists gonna tell you there ain't nothing else out there. Really? Yeah, you gonna sit here and tell me that? Tell us that? Look at that. Look at that vortex. You gonna sit there and tell me that we the only ones out here? Come on. Nah, we not buying that. We not buying that at all. No, sir. We not buying that one. Great commanders over the vortices in the wide universe. As you have felt the cold breeze of the spirit circle made by the spirits in attendance, know that there are those high raised in heaven in power and wisdom whose presence fashion the currents of the embryonic worlds and propel them forth by a breath. They have others beneath them who are themselves gods and goddesses. Levels to this. It's level to this, yo. But remember, old man, that in all the glories, there is still one who is higher than all, even the person of all, who is Jaja. Bam! Yes, sir. That's chapter 5, y'all. That's chapter 5. Y'all got something out of this tonight? Let me get a 1 in the chat. If you're going to be thinking about something tonight from what I read tonight, let me get a 1 in the chat. This book is powerful, man. The book is powerful. Now we'll go on to chapter 6, but man, look, I put them babies down, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight, y'all. My peace, love, and light. You know what I'm saying? Creator be with y'all. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to another Bronze Yo Reports.